and it's 4 o'clock Arizona time. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shannon Miller, and I'm actually a cleaning business owner here in the great state of Arizona and have been so for over a decade. So my cleaning business actually covers the whole state instead of just the area. And the name of my cleaning business is called madebroker.com. And hi, Lori, how are you? I'm also CEO of Clean Freaks University, where I teach others to run the back end of their business instead of being run over by their business. That's never fun. So we're doing a segment right now for the next 12 weeks. Actually, it's 11 weeks because we started last week on how to start your cleaning business. So if you're brand new and you kind of are swimming around trying to figure it all out, we're going to do a series on starting your cleaning business and picking a name and entities and those types of things. So it will help you move along so that you can build your cleaning business, right? I did purchase a camera mount, and I purchased two, and I was really excited. And then, you always wait until the day of to put things together. So the first camera mount that arrived was actually broken. I was really bummed. So I had to do an Amazon return. And then the second camera mount came with this really cool attachment to hold the iPad, right? And let's see if I can get this to go here. Let's see if it'll, they keep changing everything all around on Facebook. So, there's no way for the camera mount to work with the iPad. It just doesn't grip it. It's a really, I'm really bummed because I spent $70 on it and it doesn't have any grabby silicone to hold the iPad. So, I'm going to have to order a new one. So the frustrating part is Facebook is not letting me download any of my videos so I can upload them to my YouTube channel, because I was going to do a live here and then a live in YouTube, and then I'd be able to download it and put it onto my other channels, but that's not going to happen today. And until Facebook stops doing what it's doing, I have no control over the videos. But we're going to get started. I'm going to fix this so that you guys can see what I am writing. And perfect. So we switched everything around. Yeah. Hopefully next week's video, I can have a camera mount. So I'll have an iPad up here and then the phone right here, and then I'll be able to do that. It'll be really cool as we progress with technology, right? The very first thing, when I picked Castle Keeper Cleaning way back when, I actually had a dream. That's how I came up with the name. It was Castle with a K. And for many years, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Castle Keeper Cleaning with a K. And then I would always make a reference to Russia, and then it became a bad thing to mention Russia, so I stopped doing that. But that's actually how I came up with the name of my business. There wasn't, Google wasn't really around, Facebook wasn't really around. I just had a dream and I liked the name and I went with it, right? So ultimately the guy who ended up purchasing the brand of Castle Keeper Cleaning, that's what I sold in 2019. He had Castle Keeper Cleaning with a K in Florida and in Texas and wanted the Arizona market. So we ultimately came to an agreement, and he offered me a nice chunk of change. And it's forever the moment. He didn't want the phone number. So if you actually call Castle Keeper Cleaning, I still will answer the phone, or whoever's answering the phone that day. And because I still get a lot of calls off of it because it's been around for over a decade. He just wanted the rights to the name, so that's what he bought. We're going to talk about picking your business name. So there is a lot. Let's see. I might have to move you guys a little bit closer so you can see. It looks like one of my littles maybe messed with the stand. Everything's all, when you're filming things, everything's all jimmy rigged, right? Duct tape here, rubber bands there. Day planners underneath, because things break, kids play with them, those types of things. So you have to think about what you're going to do with your business. If you're just building this as a side gig, then you can go with your name, right? I know several people who have Stacy's Cleaning Service. Hi Kimmy, how are you? And what else? I've seen Maria's Cleaning Service. I saw Maria got her car wrapped. It looked awesome today. Congratulations. She's down in Phoenix. It says Maria's Sparkly Maid or something to that effect. And if I have your name wrong, please forgive me. But yeah, there's a lot of attributes that go into the personalization of your business. So you have to decide, let's see if we can get this to go away. I don't know why. on what direction you're going to go to when you're building your business. So you can pick the traditional method, which is what a lot of people do when they first start out, and then it starts to grow and expand, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make money off of this, right? And then I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to get there. So when you pick your name, the very first thing that you should do is an SEO search, because there's key phrases in the cleaning industry that are helpful for your name. So like Maid Broker is not, it's Maid Broker. It's pretty cut and dry with that name, right? I actually used to own the rights to the Maid Broker, and then I had a falling out with GoDaddy, and we divorced after 14 years. So it was like we'd had a long and pretty steady relationship, and then we divorced because it just wasn't working out anymore, and I lost the rights to my name, and I had to end up bidding against another company who bought it and then wanted to sell it back to me for $4,000. So welcome to survival of the fittest in the business world. So when you pick your name, like if I picked my name and I put Shannon's Cleaning Service, that pretty much is pretty cut and dry, right? It's Shannon's Cleaning Service. Or I could pick Shannon's, I can hear my kids screaming upstairs, so hopefully they're okay. Shannon's House Cleaning Service, right? Or then it becomes like you could have Shannon Miller's Cleaning Service. I can tell you from experience that when you have a long name and you're writing a business plan and you have to plug in your name each and every time, it's exhausting, it's tedious, and it's overwhelming. So when you're picking a business name for yourself, for your business, try to make it short and sweet. Sometimes it could be Shannon Miller's Cleaning Service LLC, right? I mean, you could add on all kinds of things to your business, but the most popular thing to do is to go to Google or DuckDuckGo or Safari or any other web browser and put in the term house cleaning. You'll see how many, I think there's millions of them, how many hits you get of just house cleaning. There's residential cleaning. I know I probably didn't spell that right, I'm cheating. There's commercial cleaning, if you want to specialize in commercial. There's janitorial. There's a lot of different things, different avenues that you can go with when you're picking your name. When I picked Castle Keeper Cleaning, I knew that I wanted to sell it one day, and because I wanted to build a legacy for my family and my friend. I wanted to build a brand. So make sure that when you're picking your name, you're selective on how you're picking your name, because you are going to have to start repeating the name over and over again. So when, like, for example, when I had the phone, I said, Castle Keeper Cleaning, this is Shannon, how may I help you today? Or can we make your house sparkle today was the big thing. And always add a little bit more personalization to your name, right? So make sure that when you are picking your company name, that's something that you love. And then after you've picked your name, you're like, I got it. It's Maria's House Cleaning Service. Well, the next thing you're going to do, right, because you've picked it over, you've molded over, you've rolled it off your tongue, you drank a glass of wine over it, you're like, yes, I want this, right? So you have to see if it's available, because there could be 50 other Maria's House Cleaning Services in the state of Arizona, right? Because it's a popular name and cleaning services is popular, so you have to make sure no one else has it. I think Maria has Maria's Sparkling Cleaning Service, I think is what I remember seeing today in her lovely wrapped car, which looked so awesome. So you're going to go to the Secretary of State. Secretary of State. Believe it or not, the Secretary of State actually handles a lot of things that go on with the state that you're located in. If you are here in the United States, if you're in Canada, or I know there's a couple Kiwis here too, your countries operate with different entities, so you would have to check to see where they house business trade names and go through a very similar process. It's a little bit different. I'm talking mostly to everybody here in the United States of America. That is my full disclosure. So you're going to go to your Secretary of State, right? And I think Hobbs, Katie Hobbs comes to mind. I don't remember if that's the current Secretary of State or not. I don't know why. That just is like, I got a hit off of it. But you're going to go to the Secretary of State, and then you're going to go to trade names and trademarks. Now, Kim knows all about trademarks. I know nothing. But if you have any trademark questions, you can ask her. It's a very expensive process to go through. So trademarks. And then what you're going to do is after you click on the trademark, you're going to do an entity search. And the reason why you're going to do an entity search is there very well could be several Shannon's Cleaning Services in the state of Arizona. And what will happen is the person who claimed the name first, who hasn't hit the 5-year mark, because usually the trade name registration lasts for about 5 years in your state. Some states, if I recall, there's 7. I think there's one state a trade name lasts for like forever. And then there's another state, it's 10 years, so a decade. So you want to make sure that you are the only entity with that name, because what will happen is licensing as you expand. Say you opened up several different areas and you all had Shannon's House Cleaning Services. Well, if that person registered it first, they have the rights to the name, and they can actually sue you and make you change all of your marketing, all of your websites, everything. And then they can, you know, if there's penalties involved in that, they'll make you pay, right? So you want to make sure that you go to your Secretary of State. Hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know. I'm hoping. And then you go to trademarks and trade names and trademarks. And it's an entity search. You just type in, you can type in random stuff. You can also, if you're looking to see if the cleaning business is legit, you can go to the Arizona, I'm just going to name mine, Arizona Corporation Commission. So if you were to look up my name, it's, and I mentioned this in the last segment, it's my LLC is Shannon Leanne Miller LLC. So if you were to search under the Arizona Corporation Commission, because limited liability companies have to register there as well, you would see when I registered my name, when the it came up to fruition, because when I went from sole proprietor to LLC, I did Castle Keeper Cleaning, and I knew that I was going to get into coaching at some point, so I registered them both on the same day. So you're going to do an entity search. Make sure that you are diligent and that you do a lot of research to make sure that you are not infringing on someone else's rights, because the person who registered it first has the most rights. It's just how it works, right? If they were born first and their name's Bob and they want to have Bob's Cleaning Service, then your name is Bob and you want to have Bob's Cleaning Service, you can either go with Bob's Cleaning Service, but you'd have to misspell it so that it's a knockoff of it. It could be Bob's, B-O-B-B-S, Cleaning Service, right? So those are ways to get around having to register and you still want to use your name. So those are important attributes to consider when you are doing an entity name. And as I mentioned, in the state of Arizona, it is good for 5 years. After 5 years, and they will mail you a certificate, you can slap it right on your wall, you can put it in a picture frame, you can put it on your dartboard and throw darts at it, whatever you decide to do. But make sure that you have registered your entity either before or right before the expiration date of your trade name, because after you've been around for a while and you've never registered your entity, then it becomes like a thing if someone else comes online and wants to use Bob's Cleaning Service, right? So that's important that you follow that rule, or you could lose everything and then have to rebrand and market, and it could be really expensive to do that. But we all know that the internet companies do that all the time because they have the money to burn, right? And then we talked a little bit about entities, and I know that someone was asking me about, not me personally, but she was asking the group about how to pay yourself. So you have to do a little bit of research on your own, but it's really important that you make sure that you are doing it the right way. And everyone, oops, I'm losing my charge. Everyone will, this is just one of those days. Let's plug this bad boy in. Everyone will have to do their own research to make sure. I'm going to plug this in because the phone is going to die, and that will be fun. Ta-da! All right, we're back and ready to go. Gosh, I even forgot what I was talking about. Darn it. Let's see that. Oh, we were asking how to pay ourselves. So it depends on how you're structured. So if you are an LLC and you can pay yourself, it just depends on how you're registered with the state. So a limited liability or a single member, you can actually do an owner's draw, or you can actually put yourself on payroll, pay your own taxes, and do a paycheck that way. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Sole proprietor, you can do the same thing, owner's draw. When you are an S Corp in the state of Arizona, you actually have to pay yourself a paycheck because the taxes are slightly different on how it works. So you get taxed on everything that's left over. We're an LLC, it's all deductions and then owner's draw, and it's just a different structure. So that's really important. If you are trying to pay yourself and you're not sure how to pay yourself or how to make that work. So you would either, so if you made $1,000 in a week and you're a single person working, right? And then let's say you made $1,000 and you're the only person, you didn't have to pay out any labor, you didn't have any helpers. And let's say, hypothetically speaking, you had $50 for expenses and you had to pay your car insurance and your car payment that week, right? You wouldn't amortize it, you could, which would break down the car payments by week. Or you could just do it depending on your volume. You could take your car payment and do it monthly. But then you would just deduct what your pay is, so anything left over. A lot of people ask me about taxes and how much they should reserve for taxes. You technically should gross $100K your very first year if you're solo, if you do it correctly. If you are constantly striving and looking for the right clients. We all know that we don't want the low-end clients. And we want to make sure that we're looking for high-end clients who value our worth, so that we are not having an issue later on with pay, right? So it's important for you to realize that you have to structure yourself the right way, and whatever way you're structured will depend on how you pay yourself. What other question was there that had to happen? Oh, since we are talking about things that have been brought up in the group, there's been a couple incidences this week. The reason why I created the contract bundle was because I had been burned. Every single one of those contracts was an episode that I had had with a client, and I wanted to prevent that episode happening again. And I was like, why not share, right? So it is for sale, but the contract bundle prevents you from having people not pay you, right? I spoke to someone today who they made an agreement, and then the person decided that that it wasn't worth the job, so they only paid them partial. And that's not how it works. You actually, if you still do in-person bidding, you go to the job sites, you guys come to an agreement, and then you present them with the contract. If they can't do it over the email, or you're not technologically savvy and you don't have DocuSign or Signaturely or whatever entity is out there that's free for you, then you have to present it in person. And if they refuse to sign, then you pull off the job, and that's that. It's no harm, no foul. I actually get an actual deposit on the day of booking, which secures their spot. So you have to make sure that you follow that protocol, so you don't leave yourself wide open, and make sure that you are not that you're going to get paid. So if you don't want to not get paid, then go ahead and do business as normal. Please do not hit me up and say, oh my God, this person didn't pay me. What am I going to do? You can sue them. Defrauding a merchant is an actual crime. I sued, in 2020, I sued 8 people, 7 of them with contracts, 1 of them wasn't, and I won every single time. I didn't do it for the glory of it. I did it to teach those people a lesson. And I learned a lot of experience on how the legal system works. I learned how long it takes roughly for it to go through the legal system. I live in a small town, so I would imagine if you live in a large town, it might be different for you. It might be a 12-month turnaround instead of a 9-month turnaround. It's I just did it because it's not right. It's not right for people to decide whether you get a paycheck or not. They would be upset if they went to work and then their employer said, oh, by the way, we're only going to pay you $200 instead of $350 today because I didn't like the way you looked at me. It's not how it works, right? And I can tell you from experience, there's nothing more satisfying than watching someone who lied to the judge lose, and then you have to meet them downstairs where they have to cut the check in front of witnesses. It's like the PB football dance. You know when you're at the Super Bowl and you see the guy who's made the touchdown and he's jumping around in his tight pants and you're just like, boom, I won, right? That's what I did a couple of times, and it was very satisfying, and people I'm sure thought I was like over the top, but it was to prove a point so that people wouldn't continue to do that in our industry. It's not allowed and it's not acceptable, especially when you're a professional service, right? Yeah, I see a couple of laughy faces, so that was pretty funny. But yeah, I did. I went, jumped around and did the PB football dance. So that's important. So don't leave yourself open if you are doing one-time cleanings. Remember that we don't go in person for one-time cleanings. They're done right over the phone. It's given a range. And then when you arrive, that's when you assess the job, right? So you're assessing the job and you're saying, hey, just to let you know, this isn't going to be the price that we discussed over the phone. I've only had one person in my over a decade of business say, get off my property. All of the people who cleaned for me are trained to walk on the job and to assess the job. And it's usually a negotiation thing that has to happen. And usually we'll say, okay, well, we had initially quoted you a starting price of this. I actually think it's going to be this. We can get you a final price at the end of the day. And they'll usually say yes because they want to have their house cleaned. Most of the time, it's going to go really smoothly. Every once in a while, someone's going to get really mad at you and go, you're just trying to rip me off. And you're like, well, this is kind of bad. So you just never know what's going to happen with that. Does anybody else have any other questions for me since we are here? I did put a couple of things up in the featured. One of them was the move out cleaning masterclass. I put that up for sale today. If you're interested in it, let me know. I put it for, I think we decided on a price of $29. If you need the workbook, which is actually worth its weight in gold, it comes out the move out cleaning contract, and it comes with the checklists for your cleaning techs, and then or a checklist to give to your client so that they know what to expect from you when you're doing a move out cleaning. I also put the commercial cleaning and sanitation class. I'm going to have probably 2 of them. I only offered the first one because I'm looking at my schedule for 4th quarter, which is pretty intense. And as we kind of progress and get ready back to school, there are certain protocols you're going to want to take. And I think that we could have another episode of cooties. That's all I'm going to say. So if you are interested in that, it's $59 for the class if you register up until the 31st of July, and then August 1st the price goes up to $99. And then tomorrow is an all green day, so if you guys have not picked any advertisement or bonuses that you want to do for new starts or whatever you want to offer, tomorrow is an excellent day for doing that. So I do have 2 other offers that I will be offering tomorrow as well. Does anyone, Lori says, that's my state for cleans. My cleans start at this, and then I do a walkthrough and give a final quote. Yes. So you're getting, what you're doing with those, and you, Lori, you're familiar with this, is you're giving them a range. When you give yourself a range, you give yourself an opening to sway the price. Especially when we're new, we're so eager to get the business, we don't realize we're cutting our nose off to spite our face. And you will suck up a lot of money when you are giving a flat rate price. So if you say $650 and it ends up being a $2,000 cleaning and you eat it and go all this labor and try to hustle afterwards, they're not going to pay you. They're going to pay you the $650 because that's what you guys agreed on. When you walk on the job and you walk it, because everybody has a different interpretation of what is clean, and then you say, hey, this isn't anything like what you described over the phone. You look them straight in the face with a smile. And then you just look at them, and when you say that, you give them the 10-second pause. And the hardest part is waiting for the 10-second pause to be over with, because you have to wait for them to respond because they're processing. They're like, this person is asking me for more money. I don't think it's that dirty. Why are they asking me for more money? Am I going to pay them more money? And then they'll eventually vomit it out right into your lap. They'll either say yes or no. Any other questions while we're here? I think I got everybody. Keywords. Yes. Awesome keywords. I think I got everybody's question. How much should I charge for deep cleaning and organizing? It's really dirty and will take at least a whole day. Deep cleanings, top to bottom, deluxe cleanings is what I teach you guys all to say. It's pretty normal in the industry, top to bottom deluxe cleanings. They start at $275 and go up from there. Organization, Kimmy does a lot of organization. I do some of them. With me, Organization starts at $300 and goes up, and I actually will make the homeowner sit on the bed with me because we will do a purging process. If it's me that goes, I have 2 others who are trained to do it, and I actually don't do them very often, only if they like beg and plead, or if I'm doing a special case, or if I'm trying to learn something new for you guys that I can film and give to you guys later, right? But I do have 2 other people that do it, and we have minimum charges for $350, and the other one is $400, and it covers a certain time span, and that we only will do 1 room at a time. There's no way that you can organize someone's whole house in a day. It just isn't possible. You can straighten it up and purge, and we all know from experience that when you have circumstances, unfortunately, there's a lot of mental health issues, and people are not capable of keeping up with their house, or it gets so far down that they that's a different type of organization. So the first thing that you would do, obviously, is pick up all the trash. The last one we did was in June, and it was 47 bags of trash inside her little teeny 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. And it was awful. You opened up the refrigerator and it smelled like a dead body in there. It was awful. And they called me over there, and I actually offered to help them work through it. And then she tried to stiff me, and I had to call the police. And thankfully, this individual was on the police radar. So they got her lover, boyfriend, whoever he was, to pay the bill. And because he tried to ghost me, and I got really mad. I'm like, you owe me an extra $650, and I want it. And this was someone who was really prominent in my town. I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't want to gossip, but it was, I got paid and the problem was solved. But yes, Wendy's really bad. The lady is depressed and she doesn't know how to get it out of hand. So yes, when you have those types of jobs, you want to pick up all the trash first. And then it's usually best to go in with a team because it can be emotionally overwhelming for you. Make sure you wear gloves. Make sure you're asking her if she's diabetic or if she has any sharps, needles, because you don't want to poke yourself or your crew. Politely put each bag of trash outside. Teach your helpers to carry the bags out, like away from you. So that way you're not grabbing a bunch of bags and you get stuck with a needle and you don't know what was on that needle or if this person has hepatitis or anything. So you got to look out for yourself and your crew for that. And then you just kind of go from room to room to room, and you just kind of straighten up as you go. It took, I can tell you labor-wise, the 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment took 22 hours of labor. So if it's larger than 1,400 square feet, which is what the size of that was, it could take you 20 hours, 30 hours. It just depends on the situation. But I would only start on one side of the house, not all of it, because it's overwhelming for them and it's overwhelming for you. Any other questions before we go? Nope. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys have a fabulous day. I hope that you guys advertise tomorrow because it's a great day, astrologically speaking, for those new starts. So you could think of something snappy, go to Canva and put up a post on your Facebook page. And don't forget to like other people's stuff. And don't forget to accept friend requests. When I go to your personal profile and I look at your stuff, it should look just like mine. You should use that for business. Yes, it's a gray area. You can't post things about how you hate your customers, even as tempting as it is, because you're using it as a form of business and a form of advertisement. Anyway, it's about 1,200 square feet. Thank you very much. Yes, Wendy, good luck with that. I'd love to see before and after photos. And you guys have a great day. Take care.